Welcome to Praetoria Prime on Glenn Diesen's channel, in the December 29th, 2025 release titled Guy Mettan, Russophobia Made War. Inevitable, a startling picture emerges, not just of geopolitical conflict, but of a 1,000-year-old narrative shaping everything from press silence to academic exile. What if the war began long before the first shot? When Guy Mettan says Russophobia isn't political, it's systemic, and it's centuries old, he isn't offering a slogan. He's naming a lens that forces us to read 1,000 years of continental politics as one continuing story. Start with the 1054 schism. Mettan traces how the Catholic Orthodox break hardened into a cultural script that turned religious difference into moral indictment. That script reappears again and again. The schismatic, the despot, the Asiatic barbarian, repackaged for new centuries and new technologies. He's right. Ideas carry forward. He's right. Propaganda recycles myths faster than facts can catch up. We get evidence. The early modern fabrication known as the Testament of Peter the Great was not a harmless pamphlet, it was a geopolitical tool. Mettan documents how Napoleon, British elites after Vienna, even 20th century policymakers used that forged narrative to justify preemption. Oh, but as the goal of the Russians is to conquer us, we have to attack him at first in order to prevent. That logic, strike first because myth says the other will surely come, reads across centuries. The overblown rush to blame Russian pilots after the 2002 Überlingen crash is a microcosm. Agencies offered instant explanations. We think maybe the pilots didn't understand well English, maybe they were drunken, and only later did inquiries show systemic failures elsewhere. Stereotype beat evidence, again. Mettan also exposes the machinery that sustains this system: media circuits, NGOs, think tanks, intelligence channels, and a shrinking pool of owners and editors that make consensus cheap to manufacture. He documents alleged CIA presence in Kiev and cites Victoria Nuland's remark, "Oh, but we invested $5 billion. Now we are waiting for being paid back, of this investment." Whether you accept the claim as framed or bracket it as an allegation, we must ask the institutional question: who benefits when journalists, academics, and NGOs become vectors for political narratives rather than interrogators of them? History gives us precedents for state-directed narrative engineering, from wartime propaganda ministries to programs that covertly shaped domestic debate, and that should make us ask the hard questions: why again? Who controls the silence? Mettan correctly flags the contradiction ripping at the West's moral posture: free speech as principle, but punishment as practice. He catalogues sanctions on academics and journalists, comparing modern administrative cancelling to inquisitorial verdicts. You are condemned without any judgment. He is right to call this chilling, and he highlights the oddity that much of the Global South reads the story differently, often skeptical of Western claims of moral monopoly. Where the argument needs nuance is in the sweep. Not every Western actor, not every institution uniformly buys this archive of myths. Mettan himself points to Viktor Orban as a counterexample, a leader with a history of anti-Soviet suffering who nonetheless broke the reflex. That tells us two things. Narratives are powerful, but not inevitable. They persist because elites find them useful. So, what now? If Russophobia functions like a long-lived creed, then dismantling it requires institutions that prize truth over tribal catechism, rigorous historical literacy, independent journalism, and a willingness to treat inconvenient facts as first-order evidence rather than apostasy. We should demand those things not as favor to any capital on the map, but as defense of democratic deliberation itself. Who benefits if we do not ask those questions? Power benefits. Who pays the cost? Everyone who still believes our politics should be governed by evidence, not by inherited phobias. That's it, my friends. Please like and subscribe to support my channel. You can find more content on my Spotify and on YouTube under the handle @Pretoria Prime. Until we meet again, this was Scipio Americanus of Pretoria Prime News.